Okay, Mark, it's Dennis, and I wanted to go over your short game here video here a little bit. And there's a couple of things I want you to recognize here. If you're hitting a lofted club here, which would be the short kind of high shot, right? We call a pitch like this and a bump and run like that. So when you're playing the chip shot, you get several different clubs to choose from based on that math I was giving you today, called the rule of 12. But when you go into the pitch shot, then you have only one or two clubs that you can use, and that would be your lob wedge or your sand wedge. Okay, so the difference would be that the pitch shot has a little wrist break in the backswing. Anytime you want to get the ball up in the air, anytime you want to hit the ball high, you need a little wrist break in the backswing. That adds loft to the club. So you go back, you stay centered. The ball's positioned pretty well here. That's pretty much where you want to go with it. You stay centered as much as possible. Now I want to show you a difference here. When you cock your wrist in the backswing, as you should for a pitch shot, you don't have to do this for a chip, right? Because we're not trying to get in the air. But do you see your right wrist there? Your right wrist has a cup to it. There's a little crook in your wrist there, right? That's what a wrist cock is. They call it ulnar and radial deviation when you hinge your wrist like that. And when you come down, you want to try to maintain that relationship as you turn through the ball. So this wrist wants to stay hinged and this wrist wants to stay flat. Okay? As you come through the ball, what happens is this wrist goes to flexed and this wrist went to flat. So I call that flipping the club. So you finish with a position that looks a little bit like this. Okay, when really we're looking for that arm to get back to its original kind of extended position like you had at the address. See if I have a pitch shot here. I think I have this one, but it's only a, there's the hinge, and there's the left arm extending. You can't see it from the side. But the left arm, when she's at impact, would just be an extension of the club. Let me see if I can put one up here for you. No. So, assume it's a pitch shot. A pitch shot is nothing more than a full swing in miniature. So you see what this is? There's the cup in the right wrist, the flat left, cup right, flat left, cup right, flat left. And at impact, the left arm and the club are in one straight line. Like this. Okay? When the club gets thrown out in front of your hands like this, that's from what I call flipping it, early releasing it. So you can do yourself a favor in pitching and chipping. You could make a big step forward once you get this feeling of not changing the wrist angles. You got right wrist cupped, left wrist flat, right wrist cupped, left wrist flat. At impact, we've got left wrist cupped, right wrist flat. You follow me? So what happened was this guy right here became the dominant hand in the action, and it flipped your club past your left. So now it's way out in front of you there. And that's iffy proposition. You might hit it good once in a while like that, but to get back to a nice full position like we want that would be more consistent for you, I'd love to see you hold the cup on the right wrist, keep this wrist as flat as you can, and just what I call pull the handle. By the way, when you hear me say the phrase pull the handle, the rubber part, the grip end here, okay, that's what I'd like you to pull, and not stop that and throw it past there. See, when that stops and the club head goes like this, when the club head goes faster or further than the hands, now the hands stopped, but the club is moving. You see, that's more movement of the club head than the hands. So a lot of ways to describe it. Now this one you hit a little bit behind it, not too bad though, but it's going to be an iffy proposition. You're going to really save yourself a lot of strokes in golf if you can hone in on that position I'm talking about. Keeping this wrist as flat as possible, keeping this one cupped as long as possible. Yeah. That's chipping and pitching. The only difference being in chipping, you get several different clubs to choose from. It's a much shorter takeaway, and it has no up to it. There's no right wrist cock in chipping the ball. Chipping's like basically a putting motion, but it's a putting motion with a little steepness to it. And what I worked on in your full swing is getting your body a little bit less involved and your wrist a little bit more involved. So I want to give it a little more hinge at the top there, so it's not all locked up together with the body. We can pick you up some yardage. See, by the time you unwind, those hands will want to be down much lower already. And this guy here, is very open. That's why I say you got to feel that right wrist, that right hand turn down a little bit earlier. But now the good news is, where we used to have outside, you really have the swing inside now. But see how late that club face is still looking to the right there, Mark? That's pretty late to have no release of your hands, that rollover release I'm talking about. This isn't a flip, this is rolling your hands. So you kind of roll the left palm, the palm of your left hand up, the palm of your right hand down through the ball, and then that'll get us this nice draw, and then you follow it, and we're on track there. So it's kind of feeling the power of the club, so to speak, you know. Once you get that, I think you're going to pick up yardage as you did today. You think of the analogy of the carpenter with the hammer. I think that would be a good one for you.